to Ibu Chi and Bapak Martin and Ibu Genevieve. It's an honor to meet you both here, and our beloved Baba and Ibu, brothers and sisters from the Indonesian community here in this beautiful city, Adelaide. I am humbled and honored to be among this colleague here in this historic room of the Immigration Museum. Also, I'd like to thank Ibu Allison for providing the AIA with this important place to hold this important meeting. First of all, on behalf of the Indonesian government, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the city of Adelaide and its government for the support for the Indonesian community here in South Australia, especially in Adelaide. And of course, we commend Ibu Chi as well as the AIA for its important role and significant contributions in making Indonesian community in this beautiful city a vibrant, dynamic, and robust community. With your leadership, Ibu, and thanks to you, Ibu, I recognize that the Indonesian community here becomes a role model for other community in South Australia, which is extremely multicultural, and multiculturalism is the pillar of the South Australian community. The launch of the IndoFest is, I think, a very important step, not only in the activities of the IAA as its annual program, but also in general for an improvement as well as the betterments of collaborations and friendships between Indonesia and Australia. I recognize that in the past few months, Indonesia and Australia have been facing a difficult time, but I always believe that Australia and Indonesia are just like husband and wife. So no matter difficult the situation is, we will always cherish each other, we will always respect each other, and we will find the solutions, what the best way to face this, to tackle these situations. And now, since almost a month ago, the relations began to normalcy. Prime Minister Tony Abbott as well as the President had both recommitted to a stronger cooperation between Indonesia and Australia. And Foreign Minister Julie Bishop had met with her Indonesian counterpart in Kuala Lumpur. And there was an agreement that there will be a high-level meeting by the end of December. And recently we also had high-profile delegations coming to Australia, not only from the parliaments, but also a number of presidents, members of the cabinet. And in September, on the 24th, there will be a large delegations coming from West Java, coming from Yogyakarta, coming as well from Jakarta, attending and participating in Adelaide's annual Asia. And not only the artists, dancers, but also the governor and the Sultan of Yogyakarta and the Deputy Governor of West Java will be coming to the Adelaide. And this signifies that we are indeed husband and wife. We are very, very close, and we are partners and true neighbors. And in that line, I would like once again to extend our deepest appreciations to the government of Australia in the whole, and also to the government of South Australia in particular, in nurturing sister province cooperations with West Java in particular. And in my position as the Consul General for South Australia as well, it is my responsibility to promote deeper friendships and closer cooperations in many areas between South Australia and Indonesia. I see a lot of potentials that I can explore further, such as cooperations in library management, cooperations in water and waste management, cooperation in infrastructure building, coastal infrastructure, as well as public facilities such as community center development. Community center here is extremely a model. I always tell my colleagues, mayors and governors in Indonesia, we can learn a lot from South Australia. And of course, in the management of historic sites, including museums, museum management and curatorships of museum, and of course inter-university and inter-school cooperations between South Australia and Indonesia. So a lot of things that we can collaborate more between two sides in the future. The launch of IndoFest coincides with the 70th anniversary of Indonesian independence. What is the meaning of being 70 for Indonesia? Of course, for Indonesians at 70, they usually have rheumatism. they just sing along with the elevator music and a lot of things. But Indonesia at 70 is showing vitality, robustness, and it is steadily proceeding towards an emerging economy. Yes, today most economies are at risk with the continued Eurozone crisis and with the crash stock market in China. And many countries are really in a very difficult situation because of this crisis, this true crisis in China and in Eurozone. But Indonesia is steadily moving towards two digits, over 5% growth in 2015 because of although there's a revisions from the Indonesian bank, but we are steadily towards that point. And also in 2030, it is predicted to be the 6th largest economy in the world, and in 2050 it is predicted to be a developed country, a developed nation. And this is why Indonesia continues to need partners, and our true partners is at the south. This is Australia. We need to collaborate more and we need to work more closely with Australia. And one thing that we cannot forget during our struggle for independence is the role of Australia in not only in recognizing the independence of Indonesia. Australia became among the first that recognized Indonesian independence, but also when Japan invaded Indonesia and Southeast Asia, the Netherlands, the Dutch, was kicked out and moved to Australia. And after a few years, after Japan was defeated, the Netherlands was intending to return to Indonesia by using vessels anchored in many ports of Australia, including ports of Sydney. There are tens of the Dutch vessels. But then when they said to the Australian government that they were only carrying medicines and food, but in fact they were carrying guns and weapons, the workers at the port of Sydney, for example, they boycotted, they stopped working, and they blacked all those vessels. And this incident was famous as the Black Armada event, as the Black Armada incident. And it is clear that the Prime Minister of Australia at the time underlined that There is no reasons for the Netherlands returning back to Indonesia carrying weapons and guns. And Australia reaffirms its full support for the Indonesians' independence. And why Indonesia also chose Australia as its representative in the three commissions after the Netherlands coming back to Indonesia, because we had a strong, deep trust in Australia, because only Australia at that time who could trust in negotiating with the Netherlands, and Australia was among the countries that recognized Indonesia. And such a memory will continue to be in all Indonesians' mind and hearts, and we are very thankful for that. And I believe that this spirit will continue to reverberate today's Indonesia's and Australia's collaborations. Will continue as husband and wife. Thank you so much, Ibu, and congratulations, and selamat for the peluncuran, for the launch of IndoFest, and we really would like to be part of its success, Ibu. Selamat, Ibu. Terima kasih.